Oh God, that should do it.
Ciao ragazzi, this is Talk Calcio TV on YouTube and we're going to Rome. So, as you know, we are off to Rome in the morning and we already have at the ready passport and our book on Rome. Do a bit of research. I mean, we've been to all the sightseeings, but on our build up to the game on Sunday, we'll be round Rome, visiting all the sites, obviously, give you a chance to see what we've been up to. It's not just football, it's also about taking in the beautiful city and what the Eternal City has to offer. I went there last June, boiling hot. It's going to be a bit colder tomorrow, that's for sure, but we're looking forward to it nonetheless, and it's our first ever Serie A game that we're going to, myself personally as well. So reasons to look forward to that. So, in this episode, of course, we have round 26 of the Serie A season. We give our predictions and what we think the results are going to be on this one. So, let's go through them. So we start alphabetically with Bologna versus Genoa. That is the Rossoblu versus, well, the Rossoblu really. Of course, at the moment, Bologna are just one place below Genoa, albeit they are level. Goal difference is the difference between the two. On this one, we're going to go for home win, I think, for Bologna on this one. I don't expect it to be a classic. Of course, it is the sort of mid-table battle, and I think whoever loses will then be looking over the shoulder towards the relegation. But I'd be surprised if either of these sides went down. Genoa, as we know in some of the performances when we've seen them on the Serie this year, of course, what a performance they put in against Juventus when they lost 1-0. They then beat Lazio at the Stadio Olimpico. But we're going to go for a home win for Bologna on this one. Then we have Cagliari hosting league leaders Napoli. Of course, that is a Monday kickoff. We'd have gone to Rome and been back by then. On this one, we're going to go for a away win. Obviously, Napoli's consistency right now, anything Juventus can do, Napoli can seem to do better. And the gap is still 1 point, so it's a case of who blinks first between the Bianconeri and the Partenope. So we're going to go away win on that one for Napoli. Then we have Crotone versus Spal. Of course, Spal are 4 points below Crotone. Crotone obviously are the place just above the drop zone. I don't expect this as another castle. This will be a typical relegation 6-pointer on this one. We're going to go draw on this one, I think. Fiorentina, they host Chievo. Now, of course, Chievo last week got their first win since November, inspired by Emanuele Giaccherini. However, Giaccherini has been reported today has a thigh strain, so he is likely to miss this weekend's game. We're going to go for a home win for La Viola for Fiorentina on this one. Inter hosting Benevento. Now, of course, last week we predicted an Inter win and they lost. The week before we predicted a draw, they ended their winless run. Spalletti is under a bit of pressure right now. A lot of Nerazzurri fans have been criticising the Chinese owners as well. Obviously, they've gone from third to fifth as well, so they really need to put the pressure back on Lazio and Roma above them in fourth and third respectively. Benevento, of course, got a win last week. They showed fight against Roma the week before. Hart says it's going to be Inter win, but I think fight Benevento have been showing. I'm going to go for a draw on this one. I'm sure if I get it wrong, then Interisti will let me know straight away. Second place Juventus, they then host Atalanta. That is a 5 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. We're going to have to go for a home win for Juventus on this one. Obviously a disappointment in the Champions League against Spurs. Against Torino last weekend in the Derby della Mole, they were not at their best, but they got the job done. So it's a home win for the Bianconeri on that one. Then we have Sampdoria. They are at home to Udinese. Udinese, of course, they had that run under Massimo Aldo where they hadn't lost for so many games. Of course, they got beaten by Roma last week. What a goal by Cengiz. After the game, of course, coach Massimo Aldo, being an ex-Lazio player, wasn't very complimentary to Roma, as we know. Sampdoria, though, of course, they are putting that. If they were to win this and Inter shouldn't, they are just 7 points behind it. They would then feel they're still in with a chance of not just Europa League, but possibly Champions League football. Fabio Quagliarella right now is a man to be stopped. We're going to go for a home win for the Blucherati on this one. Sassuolo versus Lazio. I'm going to go for an away win here. Lazio, of course, impressive the other night against Verona. They got the job done. You do wonder though, with this Stefano De Vrij that his contract offer has been withdrawn, what effect will that have on the rest of the team? There's now, of course, I think just about every club is now linked with him, from Manchester United to PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona. You know, all the focus on him. However, Lazio on the pitch right now, Immobile scoring the goals, of course. Simone Inzaghi, what a job he's done on a shoestring. I expect them to get the win, and then it'll put the pressure on Roma going into their game, of course, on Sunday night. We then have Verona hosting Torino. Last week I was critical of Torino. I thought in the Derby della Mole at home they would have given it more of a go against Juventus. There seemed to be a lack of fight and desire, which disappointed me, I've got to say. Verona, though, it's not going well for them. I think we're going to go for a draw on this one. Now, last but not least, we have Roma and AC Milan at the Stadio Olimpico Sunday, the game we are going to. Now, we're going to be sat on the Curva Sud. You know, I remember watching my first ever Rome derby as a kid when it was Lazio and Roma, they drew one each. Of course, Giuseppe Giannini scoring with 10 minutes to go. And of course, he ran to the Curva Sud. Of course, they were denied when Paul Gascoigne's header, just deep in injury time, denied them. But I remember watching that game. I can't believe we're going to be there this Sunday. We're looking forward to it. To the match itself, of course, we will bring you extended build-up on the day of the game prior to it. Of course, Milan have picked up form, but then so have Roma lately. Of course, beating the Champions League in the week to Shakhtar Donetsk, they will want a response. Cengiz Under, the Turkish international right now, what a find he's been. You know, why was he not used earlier in the season by Eusebio Di Francesco? Milan's week, of course, has been overshadowed with problems with their Chinese owner, Hong Yong Lee. Financial aside, I mean, Rino Gattuso's the man who will galvanate his players to go out. They won't be thinking that when they take the field. We're just going to go for a home win for Roma on this one, based on the fact not just that they're obviously 3 wins on the trot, they're third in Serie A. Their recent record against Milan is all in the favour of the Giallorossi. They've won the last several meetings. Of course, they beat them in this fixture last year, a wonder goal from Raja Nangolan. Of course, they beat them 2-0 at the San Siro earlier in the season as well. Goals from Florenzi and El-Shaarawy. So we're going to go for a home win for the Giallorossi there. So those were around 26 predictions of the Serie A season ahead of this weekend. Tell us what you think is going to happen. Who will lead the Scudetto race? Will it be Napoli? Will it be Juventus? Who will blink first? And also give us your views on all other subject matters in the world of Italian football. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe Talk Calcio TV on YouTube. Arrivederci. So thank you for watching this episode of Talk Calcio TV. Don't forget to subscribe, comment or like below. Just a quick reminder, this weekend we are going to be in Rome, the Eternal City, for the big clash on Sunday in Serie A. That is Roma, the Giallorossi, taking on AC Milan, the Rossoneri. The big game at the Stadio Olimpico, we are going to be there. But all weekend we're going to be round Rome, sightseeing, bringing you all the build up to this game and all the other major talking points and other fixtures. So don't forget to subscribe, Talk Calcio TV on YouTube. Join us for our very own Roman holiday. Ciao Roma, arrivederci.